Hello and welcome to another episode of Chillin' with Dylan. I'm your host Dylan, and today I'm with Jen. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Dylan.
Yeah, thanks for joining us today. We have a topic. It's about how to deal with stress. Sigh. Yeah. So what is stress? Let's think about what it is.
Yeah, it's not this particular topic is far from your comedy theme,
Yeah.
but
Sad.
I feel like it's one that's very, very needed. So,
Yeah.
what is stress? I asked Snapchat AI. I asked
Thanks, Snapchat AI. Hashtag
am I set to
sponsored.
edit that part out
Maybe
maybe?
not. No, we
Okay.
don't need to. Yeah.
Okay. I asked Snapchat AI what is stress in humans, and this is the answer it gave me, or the response it gave me. Stress in humans arises from the body's response to demands and pressures, triggering physiological changes like increased heart rate and hormone release. This response, while initially helpful for dealing with immediate threats, can become harmful when prolonged, leading to various health issues. Stress can be caused by a multitude of factors, including work, relationships, financial problems, and major life changes.
Wow, that's a pretty good summary of stress. It's interesting the fact that it talks about it being like a physical response or physiological response to internal mental pressures
Yeah, I don't know if I read
from
that
all
right,
sorts
but
of things. Yeah, I guess that's maybe something if you're a listener to consider, like, are you feeling physical effects of whatever things you're going through mentally, whether it's, heart racing. I've heard, there's some people get like
Mhm.
eventually panic attacks. That's not very good. Um,
Yeah.
and or just, yeah, like headaches and things like that. Who knows? But yeah, if you're listening to this and you feel something, then hopefully you can listen on, and we're going to give you some strategies to just maybe help you relax and chill, and maybe find a way to make things better. But if not, just listen in for some interesting tea.
Yeah, for some self-development. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. The reason why we brought up this topic, and I think it's one that's really fitting, is because maybe about 2 months ago, early June, we were both, or maybe for you, but earlier, but for me, I was really in my head about the current events of life
Yeah.
to the point that I asked my Instagram friends and followers how everyone practically de-stresses. And so now I have a list of responses, and I feel like they're actually really, really good that I want to share with those
Yeah.
that are listening, and hopefully they can help you. And I've tried a few. I haven't tried all of it, but yeah, hopefully this could also be a podcast where we just look back and listen to practical steps on how to, I guess, manage our emotional regulation and also how we deal with stress in particularly.
Yeah, so thanks so much to those friends
Yeah.
of Jen on Instagram and outside who've sent through your ideas and contributed to, I guess, the development of this podcast. Yeah, we couldn't have done it without you. So thanks so much. We've tried some of these. Obviously, we had some stressful seasons in the last couple of months in our life, and so that's really been helpful.
Yeah.
And yeah, in our own personal life, and now it's become podcast material, so even better.
Yes.
Um,
Okay. So I hope you guys are ready and maybe have a note pen or a phone taking note
yes.
device so you can list these down. So um the first topic or
The
the
first
first
area of,
okay,
yeah.
well the first area of focus that you could tackle stress starts with mental reset and
Hmm.
distraction.
Yeah.
So sometimes the best thing you can do is nothing.
Yep.
Just step away, breathe, and give your brain a break is the
Hmm.
underlying theme that what a lot of my friends have told me.
Yeah.
Do,
So
do you have any practical suggestions
I
that
think
come to mind?
sometimes you need to stop what you're doing, take breaks, and, say your work day every hour, every half an hour. I think there's always like a lot of strategies for that. Um,
Sorry, can I backtrack actually?
yeah.
Let me backtrack. Um, one thing one of my friends actually did message me when I was going through this time was and it made me actually think properly, was he said it depends on the type of stress and how to tackle it. So if the stress is work related, then his suggestion was to address it directly.
Mhm.
But if it's stress that's something out of your control, then I feel like if you keep listening to this podcast, there'll be some practical suggestions that might actually
Yeah.
help you.
Yeah. I think the thing is, there's always situations that are um, completely outside of our control. Um, I remember I saw a diagram a while ago where it's like there's things that are like big circles around within each other and small circles within. So things that are outside your control are the biggest, and then there's things that you can kind of influence in the middle circle, and then inside circle, the small circle, things that you can actually control. Usually things to do with yourself, like how you manage your stress, and whether you take a break or you step back from something. So yeah, that's a very good idea. Is this is not yet the part about doing anything physical yet, right?
No, it's not even.
That's another area which I would suggest personally. We'll get into that.
Yeah, we could talk about it now, actually, if
Yeah.
that was the way. So the other suggestion was a form of exercise or a form of movement.
Yeah.
So it would be probably movement and body reset. A lot of my friends suggested, or well, yeah, they've suggested that exercise helps them.
Hmm.
Sometimes going for walks,
Hmm.
or sometimes finding that a movement breed, well, an action breeds a movement. I don't
Mm.
know if I've phrased it right or
Yeah.
actually read how they've described it to me, but
Yeah.
yeah. So often, I know a lot of people how they deal with stress is if their mind is just so boggled, they go, they go for runs, they go to the gym, they
Yeah.
exercise, they I don't know, do Pilates. They
Yeah.
they just have to move their
Yeah.
body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that helps a lot for anything that's mentally stressing, that like you're using your brain a lot, right? Because it just allows you to switch your kind of energy focus towards physical things that within your control. I've been finding that going out for a walk lately, the last few months is really good. Throughout the middle of, say, a work day, um, as long as the weather's good enough, or even within, the room that you're in or the area. Um, yeah, the sun, if you can go out and get some sun. I'm lucky to live near like some water, like a harbor kind of area. That's also very cool to be by water, nature, look up at the sky, look up the clouds on a good day. So that helps with yeah, like just releasing your mental energy, I think, into physical. Um, yeah, yeah. I also do running. Yay!
Yeah.
Like running's a great suggestion for those. Especially apparently it's a meme for millennials who like to um just unwind. Um, but yeah, don't beat it until you try it.
Yeah,
Adrian.
I'm not knocking it. If it works for you, it works for you.
Yeah,
I know some people that probably get more stressed running because why would they put themselves through physical pain?
that's what I've
Yeah,
heard as well.
yeah,
So it's worse for some people.
yeah.
Yeah,
My preference is walking. I feel like
yeah,
walking just slows down the pace, and
mm,
it's just yeah, just a good
yeah.
reminder. So yeah.
Yeah. You also can hit the gym, if you have a gym, things like that. Yeah, there's all sorts of things. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the movement and body reset. Um what what another friend of mine also said that sometimes your stress isn't actually that serious. So you should touch some grass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
No one is
getting
going to die. So
yeah, most of the time you're stressing over things that actually aren't very life-threatening or that important in the scheme of things. Whatever you're worried about, like people might forget about it later on, or you might forget. I guess if you think when you're like a kid, maybe you might even get stressed over things that obviously you see as not as important anymore as an adult.
like
Like,
grades and
yeah,
study. Well, study is still
uh,
important, but
like I mean, like oh, I couldn't get this toy. Like
uh,
sometimes that's like, yeah, just things like that, right?
yeah.
Or Yeah, I think yeah, touch the grass. That's a physical action. Yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah, maybe the grass isn't actually greener on the other side. Maybe it's you got some green grass right there. You don't need to go travel to touch some good grass.
Yeah, all right. Okay. The next suggestions that I tried to summarize as well, which is one that actually worked for me, was connection with loved ones. So I feel like if you're going through a stressful time, um, it's best to talk to people that love you,
Mm,
people that know you, people that you can vent
mm,
your feelings and your emotions to. And yeah, it actually, honestly, I'm about to share a little bit, not TMI, but maybe that's probably a little bit more personal to me, and this is actually something that I can testify because I've
yeah.
gone through it, and I've come out the other side, and at the time it was pretty intense. So I, when I was in my final year at university,
Hmm.
a bit of context is that I was responsible for a lot of things. So it was my final year at uni. I was studying accounting and finance. I was living with my dad, my grandma, and my brother at the time. And at that same time, my parents weren't together,
Hmm.
but my mum stepped into business, and because it's always been a dream of hers. So that same year, she decided to, sign a lease contract and step into business. And then that same year, my dad also decided to leave me and my brother and well, basically give me the responsibility of taking care of his mortgage and my grandma, who was um not that well at the time. So basically be her caregiver while I was studying
So
for
there's
my
a
final
lot of
year of uni.
pressure, a lot of
Yes.
stress and
Yeah.
responsibility
Yeah.
all at once, all in the same year, or like whilst going through uni, which most uni students you probably just focus on studying.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
no, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, yeah, yeah, to pair it on top of my own personal stress of like trying to make it through my final year so I could graduate.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of stresses piled up in that same year. And I just remember like I think the icing on the cake was when my dad left and I just felt like just so much pressure and it was like things like outside of my control.
Yeah.
And sometimes in those moments where like you're just going like life just throws you like so many hard balls and you just don't know what to do. It's one of those times where like I feel like crying crying is a good physical outlet
Mm,
to really just let your emotions be. And so I just remember bawling my eyes out like just maybe for like a good 2 days. And it was funny because like I had my friend's 21st like maybe 2 days just after my dad left.
mm,
And then I was also helping mom out as well. But aside from that, I just remember bawling my eyes out and then going to this party to celebrate someone who's really, really close to me and
mm.
not telling like a soul that, like what I was going through
Yeah.
at the time.
So,
But hanging around, the people that I care about and like the friends, they didn't know what I was going through, but just surrounding yourself with like good company was enough to
mm,
keep the mental distraction and like keep everything going. And yeah, and it honestly was just like a good release. So first I had to cry, and then second I surrounded myself with really good people that yeah, that really
mm,
just was a good time, like was a mental distraction, like didn't think too hard about life, and you're just on this high. And then yeah, and then it was also my friends that got me through the stress because it was the people that I would just talk to and
yeah.
then walk through. And then over time, it got better. And then now it's been like a few years later, and then I've obviously come out the other side. But I just remember in that specific moment when you can't see how far. Or you can't see how far the road is or the light at the end of the tunnel. It's just good to actually take everything in for what it is, cry, pour your heart out, and then yeah, surround yourself by really good people.
Mm,
And that's why you need to find good people. And if you don't have good friends or good people around you, you guys, I feel for you and I will be praying, but I hope you find at least one person
yeah.
that you can
Yeah.
talk to your stresses about.
Yeah, just don't be afraid to reach out if you're struggling to find a person or two people or a few, just, at least one. Don't be afraid to reach out. Who knows what could happen? And yeah, don't be afraid to cry about something if it's really difficult.
Mm.
It's not a bad thing sometimes to release your emotions physically. That's kind of like the same thing as what
Mm.
I'd say, like when you go out for a walk, you're physically releasing mental energy or emotional energy, and there's nothing to be ashamed of. Especially if you're a guy. Like if you're a guy, like I think you actually should be crying more. Like, or like if you aren't already, um, it's okay to. It doesn't have to be in public. It can be in private. Just let it out. And does help feel better at least temporarily. Um, I do it myself sometimes. Half the time actually it is kind of in public. Like I'm half the time I'm crying a bit at church. Like I end up like crying to the music because it's just so good. Or whatever the atmosphere or vibe. So if you wanna see me cry, come film me. Or follow me. But yeah, like that's a place where yeah, like I feel like if you're around safe people, which I feel I can be safe there, then it's okay. Like just let it out. Yeah, because I don't think anyone's a robot. We're all humans. We have
Mm.
emotions.
Yeah.
And I think the earlier I learned that, the better I think I felt my life became. Like maybe a while ago, I was pretty good at bottling up a lot of my emotions. I think especially leading up to at some point during university, I couldn't really let out emotions as easily. But then as I got into the company of really good friends and thank God, thank you, to the friends that I have throughout university and later on as well. Around certain people that I started meeting, yeah, like um, I don't wait, did I cry? I didn't cry. But like you can actually be, you can let out certain emotions that, might not even some might not be good. Like you can get angry around some friends. I love to have my venting friends to
Mm.
vent with about certain things. Shout out to whoever they are. Yeah, but no, don't
Yeah.
be afraid to reach out.
That's good. Yeah, that's really good. And that's like also a good segue to another suggestion people put down is the spiritual aspect
Mm,
and some practical spiritual ways, depending on what you believe. If you have a faith, great. If you don't, also that's fine
yep,
too. You can do meditation on the other things. It
that's
still applies.
yeah,
So prayer was one of them. Someone suggested listening and worshiping God, like playing worship music, going for walks with God, especially. Um, yeah, I guess it's endless. You can meditate on scripture, you can meditate on quotes, you can meditate on Bible verses, and just even just prayer and reading the Bible. Someone
yeah.
has suggested that it's underrated. And
Don't
it's true.
yeah, I
It's
think
so underrated.
definitely. I actually would say to people, don't underestimate the power of very ancient wisdom.
Mm,
Um, it's probably been written down and shared um, for whatever thousands of years or whatever for a reason. Whether it's like philosophers and stuff from different cultures and the West or Eastern philosophers, they're all there's also plenty of good material in every um kind of yeah, like philosophy or faith. But yeah, I mean, personally, that's something we do, and it does help.
yes.
I find, yeah, like especially praying regularly, whatever it is, the belief, I don't know, but I found some fact or um I guess this is a study that proved that if you do 12 minutes of prayer every day for 8 weeks, it actually changes the structure of your brain. Um, it increases the levels you have of compassion and sensitivity to others. So like it's actually, I think it's probably similar to, meditation or like what you're doing mentally actually affects your physical condition within your brain and your mind. Um, so that's a way to overcome stress. Um, and obviously, stress is what the definition was, what like when your mind is overwhelmed, you have a bad physical responses.
Yeah.
Doing things like prayer, meditation, whatever it is, it's isn't that meant to be the reverse? That's what sometimes I think about, like it gets you to fight that battle better.
Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah, one of my friends also suggested box breathing,
Hmm.
and she quoted this quote saying, "My first world stress is a third world blessing," and she suggested to ride the wave.
Hmm.
And sometimes, not sometimes, people underestimate breathing,
Hmm.
and how I understand it, breathing has been used a lot just to be a good ground and recenter. And I've had some friends that do the Wim Hof breathing course as well, and even just like a cold plunge. I don't know if you've
Is
heard
that
of that. Have you heard of it?
your yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, you've told I think I remember it was related to your old boss. Shout
Yes,
out,
yeah,
shout
my
out
old
to
boss
him.
is great.
Very, yeah, learned a lot, I'm sure,
Yeah, he's
from
good. Well, to give people some context, we actually deal with quite a stressful industry where we deal with a lot of unhappy people. If I were to give you context, it's in the bankruptcy liquidation space. So a lot of, yeah,
insolvency.
insolvency basically. Not
Yeah.
everyone knows what insolvency
Oh,
means.
really?
But yeah, and
Yes.
he would have his name on a lot of things. And he would obviously deal with a lot of stresses because he's obviously dealing with a lot of unhappy people. And yeah, shout out to my boss from back home. He was the one that would recommend breathing and how much yeah, like just the Wim Hof course, but even just breathing and cold plunges and ice baths. Like it really
Yeah.
I haven't trialed everything,
I can
but I can see how it works.
I can vouch for cold showers. Like I've had a few
Yeah.
cold showers in my time, and like somehow you kind of feel a bit different from cold showers. But isn't for everyone.
Yeah. But I also heard that cold showers or cold plunges or things like that is also like immunity reset.
Mm. Yeah, I think I'm trying to be like more medical or scientific, but um yeah, I think this actually is something maybe I remember leans on a lot of Eastern medicine principles, or medical philosophies, like changing the body temperature, like whether it's like drinking warm water, drinking, anything that's cold, or like it actually has an effect um on your mind, your body, your spirit, all that kind of thing. Maybe so yeah, cold water, ice bath, showers. Yeah, I don't know. Like maybe there's something that happens. You kind of get a shock, maybe a restart.
Yeah, I can see
That's that,
yeah.
that's what. Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
can see how beneficial it is in the sense of obviously, well, obviously for girls, we just naturally gravitate towards hot showers, hot water.
Mm.
But I understand the benefits, or I can see the
Yeah.
benefits of cold showers because
Um.
it's one of those things where you're kind of forced to be in the moment because you're freezing,
Yeah.
right? So you can't, it doesn't give you room to think
Yeah.
of anything else other than in the moment.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe your body's fighting for survival. Or you're trying to heat up and stay warm. I don't know. Plenty of things. Yeah,
Yeah,
that could be happening.
should look into that.
Yeah.
More studies.
Yeah, I'm at Chalmers Devon, we're not your most reliable scientific or medical
Oh, disclaimer.
advice provider. Just so you know, just for fun or a bit of help. But yeah, I think I remember the All Blacks, the rugby team, who obviously they play a hard sport after games. A lot of them would dive into ice baths, and I think it helps with physical mental recovery. So it's not crazy. So yeah, don't know. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, that's
What
pretty cool.
else is there in terms of responses and how to deal with stress? There's a few areas
Yeah,
already covered.
there's still more. So, other people have suggested eating chocolate. So I think this would
Yay,
probably fall
that's awesome.
into the maybe comfort and sensory
Yeah.
type of practical ways to deal with stress is eating food. eating food that makes you happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I'm not knocking because that's
Yeah.
so up my
Feel like
alley.
that's
But then it
fun.
also contradicts what I've been told by someone else that says eat well.
Oh yeah, that also helps. Maybe I think maybe what they're saying is eat chocolate or stuff or snacks in the short term. It's good, and then like regularly doing the long term healthy
Oh yeah, of
eating
course.
is probably better. Is good
Yeah,
for your yeah, mental health and dealing with stress, right? Um, yeah,
totally.
they say you are what you eat.
Yeah,
So you wanna
yeah. I've had
yeah.
someone suggest to lie on the floor.
I actually did that not too long ago. That's pretty good. I think I didn't hear about that before, but that's pretty fun
Yeah.
actually.
I don't know what it does exactly, but lying on
Um,
the floor is good for
yeah,
you. Well,
yeah.
not hurt.
Maybe
I
that's
don't know if it's good for you, but
like a reset mentally. Yeah.
yeah. Nice. And then I've had like even doing activities such
Mm.
as like knitting, crocheting,
Yeah.
um, what
Yeah.
sports probably.
Yeah, sports, it's another physical thing, like especially with friends or groups of people. But I was gonna say, yeah, like knitting and stuff. I feel like they're like using your hands.
Yes.
I think maybe one area you should do is like just creativity related things with your hands.
Mm.
Yeah, it could be sketching, drawing, writing. I find writing's good. Um,
Yeah, that's good.
yeah, write down your feelings, journal,
Yeah,
write,
journaling is good.
yeah, just whatever comes to your mind helps deal with stress. What else can you do that's like you can, yeah, you can make all sorts of like you make food if that. Some people get stressed from making food.
Yeah,
Who,
true.
who's that? You can relate if feel like that.
What would you
Other people get very empowered and enjoyment from making food or drinks or something.
Yeah,
It
but
really
what do you
depends.
do if you get stressed from making food? And then what would you suggest?
Get KFC all the time. I'm not
Uh,
being sponsored, but like, oh, maybe not all the time, but you just you just make food less frequently, but in bulk, so that you get less stressed and you spend more time eating. That's
fair enough. It's a good practical suggestion.
I mean that's pretty common. A lot of people
Yeah.
do bulk or meal prepping. Yeah,
Yeah.
just like you know what I was saying about running. Some people get stressed, some people don't get stressed.
Yeah, it's whatever works for you, honestly. It's
Yeah.
it's trial and error. It's the whole point of this is to give you options and a list of ideas that you could try, and then you could see what works for you and what doesn't work for you. It doesn't mean everything that's said will apply,
Hmm.
which is also fine as well. Someone else also suggested or said, thinking about all the accomplishments that you've achieved so far, and keeping your head up, which I think is also nice. But I also feel like that's something that requires mental strength too, because if you think about your life, there are some people who probably think in their life that they haven't achieved anything or accomplished anything. So if you're one of those people and you are listening, that is a lie of the enemy. So do not believe it. Thank you very much. You know, the
Yeah,
fact that you are breathing
yeah,
is good enough. That is an accomplishment in
yeah.
itself, because there are people that pay to breathe. There are people that pay to see, aka wear glasses.
Well,
I'm not taking a ticket. Sorry, I'm not taking a
yeah,
ticket.
actually, yeah, I mean, isn't this, yeah, it's, I guess general, that's like reflection, right? Like,
Perspective.
yeah, yeah, seeing things from another light. Yeah, I mean, I think you're different to me with this respect. Like, some people, yeah, like, think about all the things you've achieved. Um, and I think most people you've achieved a lot just to get to where you are. If you've finished school, you know, that's an achievement. Like, or you know, like, yeah, done whatever. Like,
Yeah.
that's pretty good. Um,
If you made it towards the end of the day and
yeah,
to your next birthday,
so,
that's also
yeah,
an achievement.
yeah. But I find reflection when you reflect on your life and you think about that, it's quite good. Maybe this is if you're like more of a introvert type personality, you can get energized by like sitting in a room with your own thoughts and you know kind of yeah. It's not for yeah not. I think honestly these are just suggestions for everyone. Yeah,
Yeah.
and each person has your own thing that energizes yourself. Actually, if you haven't done so, do all the personality tests and MBTI stuff, and then you can maybe see whether, oh, like I'm an extroverted person. I need to spend time with family and friends. That re-energizes me, and I'm less stressed. And then people who are like introverted go for a walk, run away from all your problems temporarily, and reflect and write down your thoughts and feelings. It just depends. So that's another thought.
Yeah, no, that's pretty good. Yeah. There's also another suggestion, which is something that we've both been working on in our personal lives,
Mm,
is looking ahead. So
mm,
in the sense of, for us, maybe about 2 months ago, or even probably still now, like work has been really stressful
mm-hmm,
for us, and that's a lot of the time that we spend is at work.
mm-hmm.
And so one of the recommendations was, I believe also from your mom, is that do more things outside of
Yeah,
work that
that you
make you
enjoy.
happy.
Yeah,
Like that, do things that you enjoy,
yeah,
basically.
yeah,
Like plan trips, plan holidays, plan gatherings,
yeah,
so then you have something to look forward to.
yeah, yeah. Have some, if you like eating food, have a dinner planned, or I guess sometimes it's not even about the cost. Sometimes it's easy to overanalyze. Or like, maybe this shouldn't be done because, you know, it's too expensive.
Mhm.
Like a nice fancy dinner, or something like that. Like, say like something like omakase, which is, it'll bring joy, you know, the rare occasions you do it. Or travel, like sometimes that money is worth it. I find most times it's pretty worth it to get a break. Um, yeah. Um, and I think, yeah, just find something. I think even things that are mindless or feel kind of brainless that you enjoy watching certain types of content,
Yes.
or playing certain types of games. I think they're very valuable. Yeah, especially just learning that over the last few months to do more things you enjoy. If you like sports or music, do that. Yeah. If you can't do it with other people, do it by yourself, whatever it is, if you
Yeah.
can. Yeah.
Yeah, brainless things, or things that don't require your mind is also a good suggestion. Like
Mm,
I don't think people should feel bad for watching trash TV or doom scrolling or binge watching your favorite show. Um,
yeah.
because you should view it in the perspective of just
Yeah.
rest and reset.
Yeah.
It's something that your mind needs just
Yeah.
to reset, essentially. So I don't think you should view it as a
I think, yeah, sometimes you
bad
get
thing.
really good ideas, or you kind of um yeah, get energized from switching up your mental routine. So yeah, I think maybe it's entertaining when you watch like drama, because you see the mistakes that other people making, and you're like, oh, like, that's just then you realize you don't want to do what they do.
Yeah.
That's like quite good, to be entertained by other people's stories
Yeah.
and lives.
Yeah. And for my busy friends or my busy listeners, the people that always say yes to everything, I feel like it's okay for you guys to say no. And I'm still learning this too,
Definitely.
because
Yeah.
just because you say yes, it just basically doesn't give you room or opportunity to say yes to things that you want to do.
Yeah.
Right. So it's okay to say no, because when you're
Yeah.
saying no, you're leaving space
Mm.
for, something that you want to do. So
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
also learning that myself,
Yeah.
learning to say no.
Yeah. Learn to say no in almost every single aspect of life, and do it. Yeah. If that's something you struggle with, just try your best. One step at a time. Write it down if you want to do that.
Yeah,
And then put into practice. Yeah,
totally.
especially social things. Like some social things are just like not worth your time. Like you just know that you're not, that stuff is not worth your energy or time. Like not that it's bad, it's good for other people, but yeah, like you don't need to run with that crowd anymore. Especially, okay, like just the last few episodes we are talking about, say, being in your late 20s or any other stage of life as you get older, protecting your energy. Or yeah, surrounding yourself with the right people, for example. And saying no at work is also absolutely fine. We don't judge that at Chilling with Dylan. That's absolutely all right.
It is okay. It's, it's also a boundary that you're putting up.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Set certain boundaries, but it's not like you'll be perfect at it. But yeah, if you're good at that, that's good. But you can probably always improve. And sometimes you set too many boundaries. Sometimes you need to let loose on some boundaries, but other times there's not many, and so setting them is good to start at least.
Yeah. And I also think, if you're listening to this, I assume that you either are going through a stressful time or you're supporting Chillin' with Dylan
Thank
podcast,
you.
or you
Yes,
just have something that you
curious.
just wanted to listen to,
Yeah.
and I really appreciate you listening. I also feel like if you're really stressed, the power of your words have so much weight.
That's so true.
So my recommendation to you is if you wake up feeling really heavy,
Hmm.
just declare that you'll be okay.
Yeah.
You know, speak life over yourself.
Mm.
Speak positive affirmations. Just speak life. Don't speak death. It's, lo and behold, it's one of those things where it's like you wake up, you're gonna go to work, you're gonna go to school, you're gonna uni, whatever, and you'll be like, oh, I already know I'm gonna have a bad day today. Well,
Mm.
guess what? Because you said that, it's gonna happen,
Yep.
So I think it's also learning to reshift your perspective, your mindset, and how you say things, how you manifest things into the world. So, yes, my recommendation is if you are feeling stressed, tell yourself, this is just a season. It's not going to last forever.
Hmm.
I've made it out through the other side. I've been through more stressful periods in my life,
Yep.
and I'm still alive. I'm still breathing. There's still breath in my lungs. And catch yourself before it gets bad. Don't. I think my fear, one of my fears, is um when stress escalates so badly that it starts showing up physically,
Mm.
and my fear is that when it shows up physically to a point that it's irreversible.
Mm.
And so, my hope for you, if you're listening and you are currently feeling that way, is that you catch it early
Mm.
and that you actively act on your body's responses, because obviously your body is responding to a threat that it's
Mm.
identified.
Mm.
And if you can't control it,
Mm.
just breathe and speak life into yourself, into
Mm.
your situation. If you know someone who's going through something stressful, speak life into them too, because sometimes we are so caught up in our own heads that we actually forget that there's other people around us that are probably going through the same thing or going through something else too. But
Mm.
I feel like so often if we're just so caught up in our own brains, it's really hard to see, outside the cloud or the fog if you're in it is what
Mm.
is what I recommend. So speak life to yourself, please.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, the power of positive words and affirmation is actually so, yeah, it's so strong. And, all the things about manifestation and things like you have to say things out loud that you want to happen in the future, and just believe for it, even if it's hasn't happened yet. And have, yeah, just if you want something, put it out there in words and have faith and accountability, I guess, if there's stuff that you want to do or things, goals you want to reach, dreams you want to achieve. Um, yeah, put it out in the world and who knows. And in contrast, I think yeah, like what Jen is saying, be very, very careful about the negative words you use or energy, especially if it relates to other people or, like if you're stressed, try very hard not to take it out heaps on others.
Mm.
Because, the way I guess the world works, if you put out particular energy with the measure you use, it'll be returned to you and more. So just make life easier for yourself. And as much as it is, take out that negative energy in the forms of things like running and physical stuff. Um, and yeah, bring, I guess, good vibes into your mind and your soul. And yeah, let that kind of translate to every other part of your body and life. Um, yeah, but yeah, I think, yeah, often maybe being stressed as a result of constantly being either attacked or um, receiving so much negative energy
Mm.
and pressure. So um, change that up. Um, Go for a walk. Declare good things about your life and what's going to happen in the future, um, and see what happens. Um, yeah, the power of your words, the power of the tongue is good. Yeah.
Yeah, that is good. Do you have any other really good suggestions? I have honorable mentions, but I'll save that for last. I just want to hear if
Um,
you have anything else to
I
share with
think
the audience.
that covers a lot of it. I'll mention anything else if it comes to mind after the honorable mentions.
Yeah, and if you, I don't know if Dylan will put a question poll in this podcast, but if he
Should
does,
share.
we would love to hear your ideas and thoughts on what you do to
Yes,
de-stress, or if
share
there's
your
anything that we've
strategies.
missed.
Yeah, and
Yeah, we'd
ideas.
really love to hear
There's
it.
all sorts of ways to do it. With Chillin' with Dylan, you can drop a comment in the Spotify podcast if you're listening on that, and there's also YouTube if you want to drop any comments over there. So yeah, feel free to chuck in some ideas for dealing with stress and increase the amount of good vibes floating around in the world.
All right, okay, it's time for the honorable mentions.
They did not make it into the main
They
section,
didn't.
but they are worth bringing in because we respect and love
Yes.
the energy.
Yes. So, maybe you guys that are listening, because you can note this down if you want, but I wouldn't recommend it being a healthy way to combat stress. Anyway, so someone else also suggested to me, which one do I start with? Okay.
Which one?
Ready? Drink, trash talk, smoke, tell everyone they're useless, and F off. Um, uh,
We got that idea alongside everything else, but
yeah.
yeah, I mean, just leave it there.
If it works for you, but I wouldn't recommend drinking. I feel like, or actually all the other things that I just said, because I feel like that does harm to yourself
Yeah,
and also other people around you. But it was something
um,
that was
yeah,
suggested in the
yeah.
thread.
Drink bubble tea.
And then
Supporting local businesses.
one more, I think, which I just actually found it really funny, but then I think it's I still think it's funny. If you've been wronged, verbally attack the person who wronged you, then justice is done.
How do you verbally attack someone?
What do you mean, how verbally? Like, it's
I
the
just, I
power of
just,
words.
I just think about physically attacking. I'm not saying I should or you should do that, but
Yeah, no, of course not.
when you use the word, yeah, I guess,
Yeah.
yeah, attack.
Yeah.
Um, you can punch the air and pretend. No, just kidding.
Yeah.
Um,
Anyway, those are my two honorable mentions that very different to the rest that were suggested, but you know,
yeah,
was
don't. You know, just thought of that now. Like one thing you shouldn't do is go out there and be an angry person online. Use that
if you're
in a
stressed.
yeah.
Oh,
Don't go on like you know there's the people on Facebook that are always like commenting on stuff or like wherever it is like
yeah.
it's not too helpful for most people and like yeah like you basically are spending more time probably on a screen on your phone or whatever it is inside but going out to get that fresh air and walk probably does so much good. And I think that self-control and energy to not physically write down and put out, you know, the energy that isn't as good and converting that to, um, I guess, positive actions and physical movement. Like those are just, that's the only thing I just remembered because, yeah.
That's good. Yeah. Someone else also suggested another way to de-stress is to listen to the CWD podcast.
You know, I was gonna say that. That's
Really?
another. Did someone who said that? Oh, wow. Yes, listen to the podcast. Thank you for whoever said that in the comment or in the responses that Jen mentioned. But yes, listening to our podcast can help you de-stress.
Yeah.
And many other podcasts out there. We're not the only one. Many other forms and mediums of content creators if you have any recommendations, feel free to share or drop them in the comments. We have many friends who do very good um, uh, forms of content as well.
Yeah. So I hope you guys got a lot out of this podcast, and yeah, really appreciate you listening. Thank you for listening. Honestly, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord.
You can say that.
Yeah, thank
Thank
you,
you, Lord, for
Lord.
this
But also,
opportunity.
yeah, just thank you for supporting and even just being a listener and even bother clicking. We really do appreciate it. And also the feedback and the interactions. It's been really fun. So
Yeah,
yeah, and if
yeah,
you really want me to come back again or have my own one, you should spam Dylan's
yeah.
Instagram or something like that.
This is uh this is a more and more regular collaboration. So we our podcast will keep evolving to be bigger and better.
Yeah, we'll cross out Dylan and replace it with Jen, but
Yeah.
no, I'm just joking,
That's a
but not
very
really.
funny logo idea. Um, yes, thanks for listening, team. And yeah, from us to you, may you have a great day wherever you're listening, or a great night. And come back and listen to another episode soon. You've just listened to another episode of Chillin' with Dylan and
Jen.
Jen.